Presidential Working Group on the National Policing Bill will submit an executive bill package to President Bola Tinubu on the 3rd of next month as part of efforts to establish the legal and operational framework for the proposed state police system. Chief of Staff of the President, Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, made the announcement after a meeting of the Presidential Working Group at the State House in Abuja. Mr. Gbajabiamila said the package will go beyond draft legislation, providing the implementation blueprint required to operationalize a dual federal-state policing architecture once the constitutional amendment creating state police comes into force. Disclosed that following the completion of the draft, a nationwide consultation will be held before the President grants final approval. Journalists have been advised to embrace long-life learning and remain relevant and professional in the present technological-driven world. A lecturer at the Public Relations and Advertising Faculty of Communication and Media Studies at Jai Crowther University, Oyo Town, Dr. Samson Owolabi, gave the advice while delivering the 4th annual Tunde Oluwanike Memorial Lecture organized by the Nigerian Union of Journalists (NUJ) FRC in Ibadan Chapel, held at Studio One Broadcasting House, Dugbe, in Ibadan. Dr. Owolabi, who noted that the future of journalism will not be determined by artificial intelligence, urged journalists to uphold ethical standards irrespective of the platform or technology. The Public Relations and Advertising lecturer said journalism profession, when practiced with the input of modern technologies, especially artificial intelligence, will enable journalists to meet modern journalistic demand and remain relevant.
We need to make use of the emerging technologies, not to see them as a replacement for our jobs. We need to make use of them to speed up the rate at which we discharge professional duties in a manner that will make us to be relevant in an evolving world, and through that we'll be doing a lot for ourselves.
In a remark, the Zonal Director, FRCN Ibadan Zonal Station, Mr. Olufemi Fulani, urged journalists to always seek for additional knowledge to be at par with current realities.
Well, you are not fast, if you are not reading, people will leave it by hand. But if you update your knowledge, it will help you a lot.
In their separate tributes, the Deputy Director, New Media, Dr. Olushola Agbola, and General Manager, Radio Nigeria Sabari FM, Mr. Nafiu Busari, described the late Tunde Oluwanike as a selfless, diligent, versatile, humble, and committed leader. The deceased wife, Mrs. Omolara Oluwanike, appreciated God, NUJ, as well as well-meaning Nigerians for their support since the demise of her husband.
NUJ, even from the national to the state to this place, I want to say that where you are taking those money from, your source will not run dry. Better yesterday will never be anybody's experience.
Earlier, in an address of welcome, the chairman NUJ FRCN Ibadan Chapel, Comrade Oluwakayode Banjo, said the lecture was initiated to honor late Tunde Oluwanike, who until his death was the chairman of the chapel. The lecture was attended by the FRCN Ibadan Committee of Management, Chairman NUJ Oyo State Council, Comrade Akim Abbas, and Chairman Radio, Television and Theatre Arts Workers Union Ratau, Oyo State Council, Comrade Kehinde Olayade. The late Tunde David Oluwanike died in August 2013 in a ghastly motor accident on his way to Ibadan from Abuja. Participants at the National Civic Engagement Summit, organized by the Oduduwa Charity Humanitarian, Intellectual and Academic Foundation, OCHIAF, have advocated greater citizen involvement in governance and stronger local government administration. The event, held at the Theophilus Ogunlese Hall, University College Hospital, UCH Ibadan, drew politicians, artisans, professionals, women, youth, and community leaders from all the 33 local government areas of Oyo State. Speaking on the theme, The People as the Government, the role of indigenous civil organization in government and the nation, nation building, the Oyo State governorship candidate under the All Progressive Congress, who is also the national patron of the foundation, Senator Sharafadin Ali, encouraged Nigerians to back credible candidates in the upcoming local government election. Senator Ali stressed that effective local administration was crucial for grassroots development. In an address of welcome, the President General of the OCHIAF, Mr. Iyola Olayiwola, emphasized that indigenous civic organizations were vital partners in promoting accountability, community development, and good governance, while urging government at all levels to collaborate closely with grassroots organizations to effectively address the nation's pressing socio-economic challenges. You're still on to the news on News at 11 on Premier FM 93.5 from the stable of Radio Nigeria. We'll be right back after this time out. Stay with us. You're still with us on the News at 11, reaching you from the studios of Premier FM 93.5 from the stable of Radio Nigeria. Lest we forget, this day in 2025, the Olubadan in Council nominated Oba Rashidi Ladoja as the new Olubadan of Ibadan land. Same day in 1963, Nigeria and 22 other countries adopted an agreement to establish the African Development Bank. Now to the foreign scene. European Union President Ursula von der Leyen has called for united action on border security after the chaotic influx of tens of thousands of migrants from Morocco into the Spanish enclave of Ceuta last week. Mr. von der Leyen also hinted that the European Union Interior Ministers will have emergency talks to discuss ways to strengthen borders across Europe. According to a report, the scenes of Ceuta have strained relations among some of the European Union 27 member states. At least 5 people have been killed and 10 more injured in an overnight Ukraine drone strike on a warehouse close to Moscow, Russia. According to reports, in recent weeks, Ukraine has been carrying out strikes on facilities operated by wildberries, often referred to as the Russian Amazon. Ukraine authorities have alleged that the depots are used to supply the Russian military, an allegation Russia had denied. 6 months exclusive breastfeeding remains essential for proper child development. In today's Heart of the Matter, Olubunmi Olalere of our News and Current Affairs Department write on the theme of this year's Breastfeeding Week, Breastfeeding for a Sustainable Start in Life, Strengthening that Works.
Breast milk is the ideal food for newborns and infants. It provides all the essential nutrients needed for healthy growth and development during the first month of life. It is safe, readily available, and protects babies against common childhood illnesses such as diarrhea and pneumonia, 2 of the leading causes of child mortality worldwide. Breastfeeding also offers significant health benefits to mothers. Exclusive breastfeeding naturally delays the return of fertility after childbirth and reduces the risk of breast and ovarian cancers, type 2 diabetes, and postpartum depression. Beyond infancy, breastfeeding contributes to a lifetime of better health. Children who are breastfed are less likely to become overweight or obese and have a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes later in life. Research also shows that breastfeeding supports brain development, leading to improved learning ability, academic performance, and productivity in adulthood. Health experts recommend that mothers initiate breastfeeding within the first hour after birth and exclusively breastfeed their babies for the first 6 months of life. Thereafter, nutritious complementary foods should be introduced while breastfeeding continues up to 2 years of age or beyond. Failure to breastfeed adequately weakens a child's immune system increases healthcare costs for families and may negatively affect cognitive development and future productivity. Despite this proven benefit, breastfeeding rates in Nigeria remain below global recommendations. Many mothers face challenges such as inadequate maternity leave, workplace pressures, lack of family support, poor access to breastfeeding information, and aggressive marketing of breast milk substitute. Every first week in August is celebrated worldwide as Breastfeeding Week. The theme for this year says, Breastfeeding for a Sustainable Start in Life, Strengthening What Works. This highlights the need for government, employers, healthcare providers, communities and families to work together in creating an enabling environment where every mother can successfully breastfeed. Support systems should include paid maternity leave, flexible work arrangement, breastfeeding breaks, workplace crèches, lactation rooms, and facilities for expressing and safely storing breast milk. Communities should also promote peer counseling and provide access to trained healthcare workers and lactation consultants. Family members, especially fathers and partners, also have a vital role to play by providing emotional, physical, and practical support to breastfeeding mothers. As Nigeria joins the rest of the world to commemorate this year's World Breastfeeding Week, stakeholders must renew their commitment to protecting, promoting, and supporting breastfeeding. Investing in breastfeeding is an investment in healthier children, healthier mothers, stronger families, and a more productive nation.
That's great on the theme of this year's Breastfeeding Week, Breastfeeding for a Sustainable Start in Life, Strengthening What Works, was written by Olubumi Olalere of our News and Current Affairs Department and read by Dayo Adenuga. And now to end the news at 11 on Premier FM 93.5 from the stable of Radio Nigeria, here again are the day's top stories. The Presidential Working Group on the National Policing Bill will submit an executive bill package to President Bola Tinubu on the 3rd of next month as part of effort to establish the legal and operational framework for the proposed state police system. Participants at the National Civic Engagement Summit organized by the Oduduwa Charity, Humanitarian, Intellectual and Academic Foundation have advocated greater citizen involvement in governance and stronger local government administration. And lastly, was told during the news that European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has called for united action on border security after the chaotic influx of tens of thousands of migrants from Morocco to the Spanish enclave of Ceuta last week. For any information, contact us on these numbers: 082-334-5294 and 083-242-9552, or visit us on number 617 Jibbo Crescent, Yagogo Quarters, or Obadebimpe Road, Old Gbagitupe in Ibadan. You can also track us on www.radionigeriaibadan.gov.ag, X and Instagram and Facebook at Premier FM 93.5. And that ends the news is packaged by Oluwakayode Banjo. I am Remi Omolola, urging you to enjoy the rest of the day. Good morning.